Welcome to our explainer. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic that honestly affects almost every single one of us eventually: stopping falls for good. Now, what if I told you that right now, at this very moment, your body is actually missing a tiny, deeply forgotten physical reflex? And without it, well, just a single, ordinary step in your living room could literally send you crashing to the floor. I know, it sounds super alarming, but I'm sharing this to empower you, not to scare you. Because guess what? We're gonna fix it together.
Okay, let's dive into this. Most folks over 70 have absolutely no idea this critical fall prevention reflex even exists in their bodies, until it's already too late. This hidden missing reflex in your feet could literally be the difference between a confident, breezy stroll and a devastating trip to the emergency room. So if the fear of falling makes you hesitate, even just a little bit before walking to the kitchen or stepping outside, well, you are in exactly the right place.
And the absolute best part? Rebuilding this reflex takes less than 2 minutes a day. Seriously, just 2 minutes. It's a tiny time investment to completely rewrite your physical future.
But before we get to the solution, we kind of have to look at what everybody gets wrong. When most people want to improve their balance, what do? You've probably seen it. They stand perfectly still on one leg, looking a bit like a confused flamingo, wobble around, grab a wall, and call it a day. But as our source material proves, that is completely the wrong approach. Why? Because falls don't happen when you're standing perfectly still. They happen in motion, right? They happen when your foot catches the edge of a rug or you misjudge a curb. So we absolutely must train dynamic balance in motion.
The real secret here lies in the fall prevention reflex. So what is that? Well, it's the natural, built-in instinct of your tiny toe and foot muscles to basically grab the ground, dig in, and pull your entire body back into a safe, centered position when you start to tip over. You were actually born with this, but over decades of walking in heavily cushioned shoes on perfectly flat, man-made surfaces, we slowly lose connection with these tiny muscles. They literally just go to sleep.
And this brilliantly illustrates the problem. Think of this loss of connection like a broken electrical circuit. When the nerves fade and weaken from lack of use, the connection gets broken. Your brain flips the switch to catch you, but nothing happens. The electricity is still there, the hardware is totally fine, but the connection is cut. The solution? We just have to train consistently to remind the nervous system. We basically just need to plug the wire back in.
We're gonna reconnect that wire right now using 6 specific exercises. But first, let's quickly review some absolutely critical safety rules. Number 1, please get doctor clearance if you have a neurological condition or you've had a recent fall. Number 2, try to go barefoot. Doing this in socks on a slick, hard floor is actually pretty dangerous. Bare feet maximize that essential sensory feedback to your brain. Number 3, always keep a sturdy chair or wall nearby. Using a wall isn't a weakness, it's a vital tool that lets you train with total confidence. And lastly, stop immediately if you feel any pain. Deal? Okay.
All right, here we go. Exercise 1, the toe lean. This is the foundation of the whole shebang. You want to start in what we call a safety corner, literally just the corner of a room where 2 walls meet. Stand facing into the corner so if you tip, boom, the walls catch you. Keep your back straight, chin up. Now gently lean your entire body forward from your ankles, moving like a perfectly straight plank. Really important here, do not bend at your hips.
The real-world impact of this simple movement is just staggering. As you lean forward, you'll physically feel your toes desperately trying to grip the floor. This forces those dormant nerves to finally wake up. You are actively rebuilding that foundational toe grip reflex that pulls you back from the absolute edge of falling face forward.
Let's move to exercise 2 and see how this builds on that foundation. Forward balance is great, but falls very often happen sideways. So stand behind a sturdy chair with your hands resting lightly on the back. Slowly shift your weight over to your right foot, lifting your left foot just barely an inch off the ground. Hold that for 3 seconds. Then smoothly shift back to the center and over to the left foot.
So why are we doing this sideways motion? Because it saves you from sideways falls. Think about your daily life for a second. You are constantly shifting your weight sideways, right? Reaching for the mail, stepping around the coffee table, turning around quickly when someone calls your name. This slow, controlled weight shifting teaches your hips, ankles, and core to communicate seamlessly so they can catch you when you overreach.
Moving right along to exercise 3, the heel-to-toe walk. Stand near a wall for support. Place your right heel directly in front of and touching your left toes. Now walk in a perfectly straight line, heel to toe, for 10 steps forward and then 10 steps back. Now, the absolute most crucial part of this movement, keep your eyes looking straight ahead.
Seriously, do not look down at your feet. In real life, you need your balance system to work while you're actually looking at where you're going.
This particular exercise is fantastic for safely navigating narrow paths and tricky hallways in your home. It specifically mimics the exact tight spaces that tend to trip people up the absolute most. It's true dynamic balance in action.
Okay, now let's talk about obstacles. Exercise 4 is standing marches. Stand tall behind your chair. Slowly lift your right knee up toward your chest as high as you comfortably can. Hold it for just 2 seconds at the top. And pay close attention to this part. Lower it very, very slowly back to the floor. Don't just let it drop. The downward phase actually builds eccentric muscle control, which is what keeps you stable when your foot lands back on the ground.
This translates directly to effortlessly clearing rugs, climbing steps, and navigating those dangerous, uneven sidewalk cracks. If your hip flexors are weak and your foot lifting reflex is too slow, well, a minor stumble over an area rug instantly becomes a major fall. But a strong, fast lifting reflex, that completely neutralizes the danger.
Next up is exercise 5, clock reaches. This one is for multi-directional balance. Stand on your left leg and imagine you're standing right dead center in the middle of a giant clock face. Tap your right toes forward to 12 o'clock, then out to the side at 3 o'clock, and then back to 5 o'clock. Switch legs and do the exact same thing to 12, 9, and 7. And a quick tip, you want to keep your standing leg slightly bent the entire time.
Everyday life just doesn't happen in straight lines. Every single time you reach for the coffee pot on a high shelf or bend awkwardly to pick up a grandchild, you're essentially taking a balance test. This exercise trains your body to reach, stretch, and extend in all sorts of directions without tipping over.
And our final movement is exercise 6, the sit to stand, without using your hands. Sit near the front edge of a sturdy chair. Cross your arms right over your chest. This completely removes the temptation to cheat and push off with your hands. Lean forward, getting your nose over your toes, and push powerfully through your heels to stand up slowly. Then lower yourself back down with just as much control. Remember, no plopping down into the chair.
Now this one often surprises people, but getting up from a chair is actually one of the highest risk moments for anyone over the age of 70. By practicing this sit-to-stand movement, you're directly tackling that massive danger point head-on, building dual leg strength and balance at the exact same time.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how you actually implement all this. You don't need a grueling hour at the gym. Instead, we use this brilliant technique called daily balance snacks. It's basically all about pairing 30 to 60-second bursts of exercise with your existing daily chores. Do the toe lean while your coffee brews in the morning. Do your weight shifts during TV commercial breaks. Try some sit-to-stands right before you eat lunch. This distributed approach practically guarantees consistency, and it sends repeated powerful signals to your nervous system all day long.
So, we've successfully woken up the balance reflex. But actually, scratch that. We're only halfway there. There's a second factor we need to talk about that literally multiplies your risk of falling by 5.
Here is the second equation. The research clearly shows that people with weak legs are more than 5 times more likely to experience a fall in any given year compared to folks with strong legs. 5 times! Weak legs means slower reaction times. If you start to stumble, you simply don't have the physical horsepower to push your body back to safety. Your balance reflex can fire perfectly, but if your leg muscles don't have the strength to execute the brain's command, you're still going to fall. Bottom line, leg strength is absolutely non-negotiable.
I want to read this quote directly from our source material because it is just so beautiful and so incredibly true. It is not just about preventing falls. It is about reaching for things, stepping outside, and living your life fully on your own terms. Your body hasn't given up on you. Even at 70, 80, or 90 years old, your muscles are still fully capable of responding to training. They are literally just waiting for you to give them the right signal.
So I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Will you take just 2 minutes today to wake up your balance reflex? The exercises are simple, they're completely free, and they can be done right there in your living room. Do not let that quiet fear dictate your independence. Reconnect those nerves, strengthen those legs, and start living life confidently, totally on your own terms. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I will see you next time.